Good morning. It's going to be a beautiful day here to judge some livestock, and really excited to get a sort through these. Here we're going to start off with a Border Leicester Wether that I think just has a lot of quality about him. To peel wool off of one and still have this kind of shape under him for this breed, I think is pretty unique. He's really neat here to look at from the side and still gets around the ring with a lot of comfort on the bottom side of his skeleton. Let's give this exhibitor a round of applause. Now moving into our Dorper breed, and I think there's a lot of variation in this class, and one that's pretty interesting to work through. Obviously, we've got some different sizes and shapes, and with that comes some different weight classes. But I think when we start off with one that has the right kind of shape with the right kind of touch and muscularity as we work on back, that's the one that kind of fits the bill for me. There's maybe a few things I'd like to change him just in the way he brings his neck out of his shoulder, or give him just a little bit more hock security as he walks away from me. But I still think that from the side, this is the one that balances up the neatest. And again, you go in and touch and handle this one. He comes with just the right kind of freshness, with the right kind of shape, and it's still like that balance from the side. Now back into two, this is another one who's so stout and has so much to him. That one is really big barreled. It has so much mass when you get in behind him as well. But I just don't think he balances it up as well from the side as the one that does win the class. That's another one when you go in and handle, that's where I'd like to change him. He comes with just a notch more cover, with just a notch more condition on him, and that's what faults him into that second hole. Now back into 3, this is one I really do like. Again, back on that freshness side of things, that one has so much shape about him. I might even prefer just where he's at in his weight class and maturity at this stage. But I think that also comes with one that, again, we're going to knock on him in terms of his build, in terms of his look here from the side. One I'd like to change in the way he brings his neck out of his shoulder and just give him a little bit more comfort and relax him about his spine especially. He just gets a little too tight for me, but I still think that's one that has the right kind of shape. And then back here in 4, and I really love this one's pattern and presence. That one is probably the neatest built in the class in terms of his angularity, the way he brings his neck out of his shoulder and his levelness of spine. But I think that also comes along with being one who just doesn't have enough to him. I want to pull this one apart from the inside out, give him a little bit more width and dimension all the way through. But again, let's give these exhibitors a round of applause. Now, working through just a single entry on our Dorset Advantage side of things, this is a really cocky fronted, really attractive ewe lamb here from the side. And I do like the way that she balances up. Maybe I'd like to see her with just a notch more muscularity and more shape there into her lower leg and stifle. But I still think when you get on top of her, she has plenty of shape, spread, and dimension out of the backside of her shoulder. Let's give this exhibitor a round of applause. This is a class I think that's got a lot of challenge to it, but one that's really fun. I think when you get to work through it and kind of see where my priorities are lying, and I think where we start off with the young ladies Wether that I think does the most right for me in this class. I'm big on structure and I'm big on watching a move, and that's the one when it gets out on the go, I think just puts it all together and has the most comfort. He holds his head right where it needs to be, and I think maintains his spine and levelness the right way. For me also, it's the one when you get off to the side and find again this one's angles, the way he puts it together, but add on the fact that I think he's got the right kind of balance for me. Still touches really good. He has so much shape behind his shoulder. I think that's the one that just works himself there into that top hole. Now back into second. This is one I really want to gravitate towards. That one on top. Man, that one is so just has so much width and so much dimension, and the way that one's cracked open on the top side of his shoulder. Really like that one, and I think if you can put that and that one's loin edge on the class winner, I think that one becomes even better. But unfortunately for me, watch that one go, and he's just too straight off those back wheels and loses that balance into his flank line. Now back into a really neat, really good flexibility off those back wheels. Unfortunately, it's in that first view from behind. This one's just too narrow for me. I want to pull that one apart from the inside out, just give him a little bit more width and dimension all the way through. Then here into five, really like this one and what this one brings to the table from the terminal side of things. Power, performance, and muscularity are certainly on this one side. I think she's just too short coupled for me, where she doesn't put it together. Again, we need to change her from a structural standpoint, pick her up there about her front end design, and just give her a little bit more length of hip. Let's give these exhibitors a round of applause. Well, it's not no surprise that I think this challenge or this class just has a little bit more challenge for me, especially here on the top side of the class with these two that I think come with their differences, and we can go back and forth, and I think in picking some differences out of these. But here where I land on the weather for me, I think that's the one that just really puts some of those things together from a market fundamentals with the market fundamentals for me that I just think that one is so overwhelming when you get on top of him. The spread that he's got out of the backside of his blade, just how cracked open he is there over his rack. He maintains that same kind of width all the way back into a really big upper hip and pin set. Now, maybe you get behind him, and I just don't think he has maybe as much into his lower twist, into his lower stifle as the one that comes in second. But I think this one from a 3/4 angle really just gives you such a nice look. I think he's still good enough in terms of his balance. He's still good enough in terms of his build. And so for me, I think, again, fall back on those market fundamentals and just the way that one comes together with the right kind of shape and muscularity, and that's where he wins the class for me. Now back into second, I think where I initially want to put this one up on that top end of the class is this one's build. Watch that one get out and go, and this ewe is just so comfortable. She's so flexible, and I love her skeleton in motion. I think she's still got the right kind of touch. I think just in that view from behind, again, that 3/4 angle, I want to see her just with a little bit more upper hip. I want to see her carry a little bit more width all the way down to the base of her skeleton as well. But I think she's still right on, and again, we just want to see just a little bit more outward shape to get her up into that top hole. Now back into three. Here's one who does have so much shape. Love that one's lower leg. Love that this one's really big barreled and really opened up there in his center body. Unfortunately, he's just too short coupled. That one needs to be lengthened out on either side of his skeleton to get him up any higher. But I still think that one, again, from the market fundamentals, has the right kind of shape and muscularity. Here's a ewe I think that is really neat and has a lot of unique pieces about her too. That one's really, really fresh, really extended in her front end design, and I love how level she is as she works down her spine as well. She just gives up too much in terms of her forerib shape. I want to see her just a little bit bolder, a little bit more opened up, and with more shape from behind. And here, as we round out the class, we've got a big framed, really extended kind of Wether, one that's super long neck, super long body, and I think he's just past 12 o'clock. Just doesn't have the same kind of touch as the rest of the class here today. Well, I really like this division of Hamp Weathers, one that I think comes with enough challenge to it, but bring back these four, and I really see the quality in these. And for me, the champion, I think, really just runs away in this division, checks a lot of those boxes for me again on build, balance, and look, and then comes with those with the other pieces of muscularity and of shape. So it gets a little bit closer there for reserve between two. I think that have some similarities and have some differences in them as well. But I think muscle is really what tips the scale in the reserves' favor over that third place one. I think this is a really nice division. Let's put our hands together for these exhibitors. Now here in our Katahdin class, we've got obviously two very different sizes and shapes, but I'm going to say that pounds play, and in this black Weather is the one that wins for me today. I think not only, again, from that pound side of things, but this one does have the right kind of build. Again, that one balances up just a little bit neater. He comes a little bit more opened up through the center portion of his skeleton. And then here in second, the young man's got one who I just don't think is there yet in terms of his market, in terms of market weight, and I think he needs just a little bit more time to get him there. But I think it's still, from a basic standpoint, that one is still going to make a really nice Weather for this young man. Congratulations. Now here in our Lincoln class, two I think that are that both come with their similarities. I think the one that wins the class, though, I think is just a little bit further ahead in terms of his market readiness, just a little bit further there in terms of how opened up he is, in terms of his center body. Maybe does come with just a little bit more width and a little bit squarer of a loin edge in comparison to the one that falls in second. Now in second here we've got one that I think certainly is quite similar there in terms of his build, in terms of his structure. I just wanted to see him with a little bit more, just to give him that same kind of balance here from the side. Let's put our hands together for these exhibitors.
Placings on Class 8 or Class 7 Lincoln Market Lambs. First place, champion Lincoln Market Lamb, and congratulations to Adeline Jester. Second place, reserve champion, exhibited by Waylon Jester. In the ring now, we are on Class 8 natural colored market lambs. Class 9 North Country Cheviot market lambs need to be making their way to the makeup ring. Class 9. Let's go ahead and make a first call also for Class 10 Oxford market lambs to the makeup ring. For those of you that are here, if you have family members at home that want to watch the show this weekend, you are free to go to Ringside Live and watch right along with us. For those of you at Ringside, our judge for today is Emma Brockman. Emma owns and operates Locust Lane Livestock alongside her husband and parents in Versailles, Ohio, where they raise Corriedales and Southdowns. She's a graduate of Lincoln Land Community College and the University of Illinois, where she was a member of both livestock judging teams. Now Emma works for World Initiative for Soy and Human Health, while also studying for a master's degree in international agriculture through Oklahoma State. She and her husband live in Bloomington, Illinois, and enjoy judging livestock shows across the country in their spare time. Let's give Emma a round of applause and thank her for being here this weekend. You're going to get to meet Austin here later this afternoon when we get into the showmanship portion of our show.
Well, obviously, I think we're working with quite a range and weight here in this natural colored class, but still, even at that, the one that wins, whether he's 15 pounds lighter or not, I think that one's still the right one for this class. He's really up-headed. He's really level down that spine, and boy, again, you take that three-quarter view, you get off to the side, and that's the one that balances upright. He hits his stride and is so comfortable, but then is still so fresh when you go in to handle him. Now, here in a second, here we've got a really big-bodied, really opened up kind of ewe lamb, and I do really like this one again in terms of her structure and balance. But again, you take that step in from behind, and she doesn't have that same kind of muscularity. She doesn't have the same kind of width about that upper hip shape, or as she works on down to her stifle. I just again want to see that one with just a little bit more dimension at the bottom side of her skeleton. Now back here on a really big, really extended Wether, and here into 3. Again, we like a lot of things about this one in terms of his build, but I think this one just doesn't necessarily come with the right kind of muscularity. Again, you step in behind, and I just want to see that one with just a little bit more. Again, profile, silhouette, it's all right. I just want to see him with just a little bit more muscularity from behind, out of the backside of his shoulder than the one that falls directly ahead of him. But I think this one for me is just a little bit too far past his prime. We start working out at that there about his chest. That one comes with a little bit heavier chested and with just a little bit more condition about that neck. I want to clean him up and give him just a little bit more freshness as I go into handle. Again, let's put our hands together for these exhibitors.
Placings on Class 8 Natural Colored Market Lambs. First place, Champion Natural Colored Market Lamb, exhibited by Colton Smith. Second place, and Reserve Champion Natural Colored Market Lamb, Reagan Leeper. Third place, Ellie Tompkins. And fourth place, Levi Bradshaw. In the ring now, we are ready for Class 9 North Country Cheviot Market Lamb. Oxford Market Lamb exhibitors, this will be your first call for that second call. Class 10 Oxford Market Lambs. Let's be getting them ringside and ready. Let's also go ahead and make a first call for that Class 11 Polled Dorset Market Lamb. First call, Class 11 Polled Dorset Market Lambs to the makeup ring.
Now, again, I'll talk a lot about balance today and as we work through the rest of the weekend. But again, I think that that's what really works into this one's favor here in this particular class. And here we've just got a single entry, obviously, but still, again, this one from a balance standpoint checks a lot of those boxes in terms of its build, in terms of its look from the side, and I think has a lot of neat pieces about him. Let's put our hands together for this exhibitor.
Placings on Class 9 North Country Cheviot Market Lamb. First place, Champion North Country Cheviot, exhibited by Brock Kessler. In the ring now, Class 10 Oxford Market Lambs. Let's also be making our way with that Class 11 Polled Dorset Market Lamb class. There should be 3 entries in that class. Attention to the barns, just in case you want to be following along, the Weather Dam classes and the Showmanship classes are sorted on the Showman app. So Weather Dam and Showmanship are sorted and ready for you to look at and posted on the Showman app.
Now, again, I think we are on 2 different ends of the spectrum in terms of weight, in terms of maturity here in this class. But the one that starts us off, here we've got a ewe lamb that I think just is so good looking from the side. Again, this one's profile, this one's silhouette, where she's up-headed, she's fresh, and she's really attractive in that front 1/3. She works on back, long about that hip, and then still, I think, balances up again, really neat from the side. When you get behind her, and sure, I do want to see her with just a little bit more width about that upper hip. I want to see her bring a little bit more dimension down to the surface. But I think that one, in terms of her look, in terms of her touch and handle, I think she's still right on there for a market lamb and really fits the bill in this class. Now, back here on the other end of the spectrum, here in 2, we've got one that is so powerful and so stout in terms of its muscularity. You get behind that one, and that one is really deep into his lower leg, has so much shape about his twist. But I think that when you take that step off to the side, maybe this one doesn't hit you with the same kind of look as the one that wins the class. He comes with just a little bit too sharp of a hawk, and I just want to smooth that one out, give him a little bit more comfort and flexibility on the go. But I think that one just needs to be just a little bit more attractive in the way he brings his neck out of his shoulder, and just give him a little bit neater look here from the side. But a really nice class. Congratulations.
Placings on Class 10 Oxford Market Lambs. First place, champion Oxford Market Lamb, exhibited by Harper Nichols. Second place, and your reserve champion, was exhibited by Caden Murphy. In the ring now, we should be ready for Class 11 Polled Dorset Market Lambs. These weigh from 93 to 120. There are two classes of Polled Dorset Market Lambs. Dorset Market Lamb exhibitors, let's be getting that Class 12. Class 12 Polled Dorset Market Lamb to the makeup ring, please. Class 12 to the makeup ring. Let's go ahead and make that a second call for Class 12 Dorset Market Lamb. Second call, Class 12 to the makeup ring, please.
I really like the way that this Dorset class comes together. And again, we start off with the ewe lamb. I think that checks the right kind of boxes. When you watch that one go, she really hits her stride. She's comfortable on the bottom side of her skeleton. And that certainly translates up. When that one's stuck, I think she still comes together and is so shapely, has so much spread out of the backside of her shoulder where she's bold into her forerib. She's deep into that flank line and still has plenty of shape here from behind. Now back into the second, this is one that's really stout and really powerful. She's opened up in that center body, and I think she's just as square in her build, and I certainly appreciate that about her. Unfortunately, I just don't think she kind of gets you with that same look. I want to see that one with just a little bit more extension in that front end. I want to see her a little bit smoother in the way she lays into her shoulder and works on back, but I still think, again, that one's opened up. She's really bold and has plenty of shape there from behind. Now here in the third, as we round out our class, this is one who I think we just need more time on this one to get her up any higher. She just runs out of gas for me in terms of her muscularity. Again, want to see that one with a little bit more dimension there at the surface, but a really good centered, really a nice balance sheep here. Again, we just need more time. Congratulations.
Placings on Class 11, Pulled Dorset Market Lambs. First place, and congratulations, Harper Nichols. Second place to Liam Lewis, and third to Adeline Jester. Entering the ring now, we are ready for Class 12 Pulled Dorset Market Lambs. These weigh in a range of 132 to 157. Also, breeding breeding sheep exhibitors, you have about an hour and 5 minutes to get your registration papers checked in the exhibit building over here. So make sure you get those checked here by noon is when that will close. Shropshire Market Lamb exhibitors. This will be that first call for Class 13. Shropshire Market Lambs. First call, Class 13, Shropshire Market Lambs to the makeup ring. Let's make this a second call for that Class 13 Shropshire Market Lamb. Second call, Class 13 Shropshire Market Lambs to the makeup ring, please. After Class 12, we will be selecting your champion and reserve champion Pulled Dorset Market Lamb. So let's make sure we have those first and second places out of Class 11 ringside and ready.
Well, again, here's another really fun class. I like the way it shakes out. The young man's Wether that starts us off is one that I like good enough when he's in motion, but man, when that one's stuck and when he's put together, that one really gives you the right kind of look of the kind of sheep that I want. That one's really short-bladed, and he works and gets progressively deeper into his flank line, and for me, that really works into his balance and his look. That profile, that silhouette are right on, and I think that one just gives you the right kind of look. Now back in a second, this one for me is just maybe a little bit more out there. Love his extension, love how he brings his neck out of his shoulder and the length of this one's spine. But I just get too critical on this one in my first view from behind. That one just closes up too much at the surface. He just, for me, just doesn't have enough about his upper hip, and I want to see that one just a little bit wider at the surface. Got plenty of shape up top. He just, I think, works the wrong way for me. And I think the same can be said here into third. This is one, when you get on top of him, he's so bold out of the backside of his shoulder, has plenty of shape up top, but as we work on back, that one funnels and just flattens into his upper hip. I need to see that one with a little bit more, shape there from behind as well. I think he's just a little bit past 12 o'clock. And then here, as we round out our class, this is one who comes back on the freshness side of things, and I think has that advantage in comparison to the one that falls directly ahead of him. That one's up-headed. He's really extended and long-spined. He just runs out of gas, and he just doesn't have enough in terms of his center body. He just needs a little bit more time on feed to get there.
Placings on Class 12 Pulled Dorset Market Lambs. In the ring now, we are ready to select our champion and reserve champion Pulled Dorset Market Lamb. From Class 11, first place, Harper Nichols. Second place, Liam Lewis. Class 12, first place, Eli Wilson. And second place, Ginsley Ball. Shropshire Market Lamb exhibitors, this will be your final call for that Class 13 Shropshire Market Lamb. Final call, Class 13. Let's also go ahead and make a first call for Class 14 Shropshire Market Lambs. First call, Class 14.
Well, as we bring out our four Dorsets for our champion drive in this division, I especially look at our two class winners, and I think we can go back and forth a little bit on some of the differences that they bring to the table. And for me, there's a ewe lamb that is one that's so fresh. That one you go into handle, and you love the shape and spread that she's got out of the backside of her blade. She gets progressively wider, and she wedges the right way, where she's so square over that loin edge. She's got so much width as we work on to a really big upper hip and pin set, and that still translates down. And then here we've got that one out of that second class that just gives you a really neat, really balanced look from the side. And I love how up-headed he is. I love the levelness of his hip, and just the way that he tracks out, and just really hits you with such a nice look. And that one's tucked up about his chest floor. He's shallow bladed, and I think just balances up again really well. Again, there's two different ways that we can go, but I think ultimately I do kind of come back to those fundamentals. We got to go on muscularity. We've got to go on freshness. And as I go into handle, I think there is one that just is a little bit further ahead in that regard. And so I'll go out and shake the hand of your champion in reserve. Congratulations.
And your champion Polled Dorset Market Lamb exhibited by Harper Nichols. And your reserve champion Polled Dorset Market Lamb exhibited by Eli Wilson. Let's give our Polled Dorset exhibitors a round of applause as they are exiting the ring. We are ready for that Class 13 Shropshire Market Lamb. There should be 3 entries in this class from 115 to 123. Shropshire exhibitors, let's be making your way with that Class 14 Shropshire Market Lamb class. That's your second call for Class 14.
Well, here's a class I think that comes together fairly easily for me. When I take that first look at the one that starts us off, that one checks those boxes for me in the way that he comes together. But that first view, when you get on top of him, he's got the right kind of spread and dimension. He's really opened up. He's really bold about that forerib. But especially, I love this one shape and turn to his lower leg, and that one from the side, I think really just hits me pretty hard. Maybe I'd like to fix him just in the way he brings his neck out of his shoulder, but I do think that's getting pretty critical when he stopped and collected. That one really hits me quite hard. Now back in a second, this is one that I really do appreciate in that view from behind as well. Really wide at the bottom side of his skeleton, and I just don't think that translates up as much as the one that wins the class, where he's got enough dimension there at the surface, but I just want to see him with a little bit more width there out of the backside of his shoulder. I want to see him with a bigger upper hip and with a square loin edge for me. But I think, again, that one has enough muscle. I think he has enough rib shape. It just doesn't all come together as neat and as attractive as the one that wins. Now back into a really fresh, really cool looking sheep that comes into third, and that one is so extended. I love how geeky neck that is, and work on back, and she's so level about her spine, and I really like that about this sheep. When you get on top of her, I think she's got the right kind of spread. She's got some shape and expression, and it certainly does wedge back, but ultimately when you compare apples to apples, she just doesn't have enough. That one needs more muscle. She needs more shape for me. Congratulations.
Placings on Class 13 Shropshire Market Lambs, first place, and congratulations to Eli Wilson. Second place to Adeline Ham, and third place to Emma Chandler. In the ring now is Class 14 Shropshire Market Lambs. These weigh from 131 to 159. After Class 14, we will be selecting your champion and reserve champion Shropshire Market Lamb. Let's go ahead and make our first call for Class 15 Southdown Market Lambs, ringside and ready. First call, Class 15.
Now here on the top side of this class in 1 and 2, we've got two very different sizes and shapes. But again, I come back on that structure, and as we watch them go, and for me, the ewe lamb that wins the class really is just a little bit more correct, and she's just really hits me with the right angles and with the right silhouette here today. And that's what gets her into this top hole. She's still extended about the front end, about the tops. About the front 1/3 of her skeleton, and I love the way that she ties it on back, where she's so wide there over the top side of her skeleton and gets progressively wider where you work back over a really square loin edge. She's square and big about that upper hip, but I love, for me, the way that she maintains that same width that she's got on the top side all the way down to the surface, and that's what really hits her into that first hole for me. Now body shape in terms of this one's look here from the side, really like this one quite a bit. I think that one's got the right balance, and I love the way he's put together there again about his body shape. But I just have too many issues when I have this one get out on the move, and he just doesn't hit his stride with the same kind of comfort and flexibility as the one that does win the class for me. You get in behind him, and I think for me, he runs the wrong way. Where he's bigger about the top side of his skeleton, he actually funnels and flattens and gets progressively narrower at the bottom side, and as he works to the surface. For me, that one just needs a little bit more flex and give off those back wheels to get him up any higher, but I still think that that's a pretty cool sheep to study from a body shape standpoint. Now here into 3 and 4, I think we've got two that are very similar in what they offer and what they bring to the table. They're very practical, very easy feeding kind of sheep, and have the right center body. They're plenty opened up, and I think they have the right kind of muscularity. For me, where 3 comes in slightly ahead is I just like the way that this one's put together. He's a little bit wider, he's a little bit squarer than the one that comes at here into 4, where that one for me just gets a little bit too far outside of itself. Another nice class. Congratulations.
Placings on Class 14 Shropshire Market Lambs. First place, and congratulations to Ryan Liggett. Second place to Cash Coyle. Third, Sawyer Bulis. And fourth to Leighton Dower. In the ring now, we are selecting your champion and reserve champion, Shropshire Market Lamb. First place out of Class 13, Eli Wilson. Second place out of Class 13, Adeline Ham. First place out of Class 14, Ryan Liggett. And second place out of Class 14, Cash Coyle. Southdown exhibitors, this will be that second call for Class 15, Southdown Market Lambs. Second call, Class 15, Southdown Market Lambs.
I think we've kind of got a mixed bag of chips in this Shrop division, a lot of different sizes and shapes, and it's certainly reflected here in this champion drive. Out of that first class, I think we've got one that just has so many really, really unique pieces. That one as a show sheep and as a show lamb has really big feet. He's really, really correct. Here when we study him from the side, maybe I would like to change him in the way he brings his neck out of his shoulder, but from there on back, again, those unique pieces in his shape and expression really like that sheep quite a bit. And then out of that second class, I think we've got two very different sheep there, and some differences in their build and differences in terms of their handle and shape and expression. For me, I'm going to go with the one that's maybe just a little bit more out there. Maybe isn't perfect, but ultimately for me, I think just fits the bill in this division. Let's put our hands together for these exhibitors.
Your champion Shropshire Market Lamb out of Class 13, Eli Wilson. And your reserve champion, Shropshire Market Lamb out of Class 14, Ryan Liggett. Let's give our Shropshire exhibitors a round of applause. We are ready for that Class 15 Southdown Market Lamb class. There are two classes of Southdown Market Lambs. These weigh, Class 15 is 111 to 120 pounds. Southdown exhibitors, let's be making your way with that Class 16 Southdown Market Lamb class. Class 16 Southdown Market Lambs, ringside and ready. Southdown exhibitors, let's make guess your second call for that Class 16 Southdown Market Lamb class. Second call, Class 16.
Now, again, it's no surprise that this class just brought a little bit more challenge to me. I think that when we look all the way through, there's quite a bit of variation in our type and kind, and so I think that's why this one just has a little bit more challenge pulling it together and finding that exact kind of piece that I want. I don't think any of them in here are necessarily perfect. If I could combine these two in our first and second, I think that would be a really, really cool sheep. Ultimately, for me, the one that does win the class, I think, just puts the most together and does the most right. Again, you get that view from behind, and I'm big on views. I'm big on watching them go, and ultimately for me, this is the one that comes with the right kind of muscularity while also balancing it up with the right body shape, with the right build underneath. And I think for me, as you step off and study these two from the side, where this one really has the advantage is, again, in that muscularity. This one is just so much more powerful there from behind, has so much more to him there, especially as we work into his lower twist and into his stifle as well. Now, maybe I want to give him just a little bit neater look in the way that his rib sits into him that the one in second has. I think this one is just so round about his rib. I love the way that this one sits up, and he's good enough chested, and I think the way he works on back there in his center body is so cool. That one's square in his build, really square over his hip, but where this one gives up for me is just as we work on down. That one needs more muscle, and I think if we put the muscle on him that the one in first does, then he runs away with this class pretty easily. Unfortunately, I always come back to that, and that's what faults him into that second hole. Now here in 3, here's a little ewe lamb that I think is really attractive, and she's really correct in her build. I think very similarly, her rib sits in her right. She's really round about that rib, and I think has the right shape, has the right squareness to her build, and just gives you such a nice look from the side. But again, I think we just run out of muscle, we run out of power, and especially when we work to the surface, and that's where she lands in 3. And my challenging sheep is the one in 4, and I think that one is so big muscled. She's so big about her center body, and really like a lot of pieces about this sheep, but I think unfortunately she just doesn't necessarily fit in this class, and I think that becomes a challenge. I think you've got to use her, you've got to kind of run with her in a different spot, and so for me, I put her here. For me, she just doesn't have the same kind of extension, she doesn't have the same kind of look from the side. That's still a really good sheep in terms of the way she's built. She's still square enough, she's still really correct. She just doesn't have that same kind of neater look from the side that those ahead of her do, but still a nice sheep there as well. And here, as we round out our class, we come back on maybe a bigger framed, more extended kind of sheep, another one who's so square out of his hip, but work on down, and again, he too needs more muscle, needs more shape to get up any higher. Really challenging class. Let's put our hands together.
Placings on Class 15 Southdown Market Lambs. First place, and congratulations, Ellie Tompkins. Second place, Emma Myers. Third, Baylor Mills. Fourth, Harper Nichols. And fifth, Leland Ging. In the ring now, we're ready for Class 16 Southdown Market Lambs. There are 4 sheep in this class, from 135 to 165. Suffolk Market Lamb Exhibitors. Suffolk Market Lamb Exhibitors. First call for Class 17, Suffolk Market Lambs. Just a reminder, breeding sheep exhibitors, it is 11:32. They will stop doing check-in and check-in registration papers at noon. They will stop checking. You have until noon to get your papers checked. For everybody on the grounds that's not showing in the Market Lamb show, showmanship today will start at 1 p.m. It will just be one ring here where we're showing the Market Lambs at 1 p.m. Also, at 1 o'clock, there will be a snow cone truck here on the grounds. They will be here from 1 to 3. Those are going to be free snow cones. We'd like to thank Brett and Heather Kessler of Clay Hill Ranch for sponsoring the snow cone truck here this afternoon. So if you see Brett or the boys around, make sure you thank them for their sponsorship. Also, Market Lamb exhibitors, because we are going to pick a top 5, we will bring breed champions and reserve champions back in to select our grand reserve and top 5 overall. So we will bring champion and reserve champion market lambs back in to select our top 5 market lambs. Textile Market Lamb exhibitors, let's make this your first call for those Textile Market Lambs, Class 18. First call, Textile Market Lambs.
Now here, I really like our class winner in this next class of Southdown Market Lambs. This one for me is just really correct in the way he's built. Watch that one get out and go, and I like the way he hits his stride, still stays, maintains that extra width and dimension at the surface all the way through, and I still think he handles with the right kind of shape, spread, and dimension in this particular drive. Now back here into a really heavyweight, more extended, bigger frame kind of sheep is the one in second. I think that one, in terms of his silhouette, in terms of his presence and his profile, that's the kind of sheep that I can get really excited about. Unfortunately for me, this one's just a little bit too far past 12 o'clock. When you go into handle, that one's just a little bit plainer to the touch, and I think that maturity is becoming more evident, especially as we study that one about his chest and about his neck. And unfortunately, that's where he falls there into second, but that's still a really nice sheep in his own right. And I think still it's another more mature sheep that comes into three. That one is, I think, still has enough freshness there about his neck, and I think that they've done a really good job feeding on this one. That one, in terms of his center body, he's got the right kind of progression. He's got the right kind of balance. Unfortunately, again, we study him from behind, and he just needs more. I just want to see him with a little bit more shape about that upper hip. I want to see him with a bit more expression as we work on down, especially study him into that lower leg and stifle. But still come back on a ewe lamb that rounds out our class, and she on the other end of the spectrum certainly has more muscularity. She has more power, and I love her stoutness. But she too is just a little bit too far past 12 o'clock, and when you go into handle, she just has that extra layer of bark that I want to peel off of her. Watch her in motion, and I just have too many problems with the way she's built, and so that's unfortunately why she falls into fourth. But still a really nice sheep, one with a lot of power and a lot of stoutness that we can certainly appreciate. Let's put our hands together again. Congratulations.
Placings on Class 16 Southdown Market Lamb. First place, and congratulations to Eli Wilson. Second place to Eli Eck. Third place to Tucker Rittberger. And fourth place to Eli Eck. We are ready to select our champion and reserve champion Southdown Market Lamb. First place from Class 15, Ellie Tompkins. Second place from Class 15, Emma Myers. First place from Class 16, Eli Wilson. And second place from Class 16, Eli Eck. Suffolk Market Lamb exhibitor, you should be ringside and ready. Texel Market Lamb exhibitors, please be making your way to the makeup ring.
Now here as we bring out those first and second place from both of those classes in our South Down Drive, and I study them and really pick them apart piece by piece. Obviously that first class had plenty of challenge to it, and I think we bring them back, and I still like where we're at with both of those. Again, they're not perfect, and I think that we do have some differences in each one of those, but ultimately for me, I think they're just a little bit more correct in terms of their muscularity, in terms of the shape and freshness where I like to be. That's taking nothing away from that second class. I really do like the sheep that comes out comes out of that second class. They're in that first. I think from a balance standpoint, we step off to the side, and I think that one gives you a really cool look. I just want to change a few too many things about that one, unfortunately. So we'll keep these two together here for your champion in reserve.
And your champion, Southdown Market Lamb from Class 15, exhibited by Ellie Tompkins. And your reserve champion, Southdown Market Lamb, exhibited by Emma Myers from the same class. In the ring now, we are ready for Class 17, Suffolk Market Lambs. There's one entry in this class. Texel Market Lambs should be ringside and ready. Valet Market Lambs. This will be your first call for that Class 19 Valet Market Lamb class.
Just another single entry coming back into our breed, or coming back here to our Suffolk breed, and I think this one there, this one's body shape, and this one has the right kind of muscularity. For me, I really like this one, especially in terms of its build as we watch that one go. Let's give this young lady a round of applause.
Results of Class 17. First place, champion Suffolk Market Lamb. Congratulations to Ella Bulis. In the ring now, we have Class 18, Texel Market Lambs. There are two entries in this class. Class 19, Valet Market Lambs. Let's be making your way to the makeup ring. Class 19, Valet Black Nose Market Lambs. Ringside and ready.
Now, again, I won't say either of these textiles are perfect, but I do like where I land here for our first place Wether. This is one for me that I think just comes with the right kind of structural build in terms of his skeleton. That one maintains the right kind of levelness. He maintains the right kind of angularity, especially up front, where I really like the way that one's put together. And then work on back, and still has the right kind of rib shape. Really like this one's balance from the side. Maybe he does push out on those hocks ever so slightly, but I think that's getting really critical. And I do think that the one in second has the right kind of comfort and flexibility there at the surface when he's in motion. Unfortunately, we do find this one, and I find him in motion still and work on up, and I need to change this one's spine to get him up into that first hole. I need to give that one the right kind of strength and integrity out of the backside of his shoulder, and the same kind of levelness of his hip as the one that does win the class. But I think he's got plenty of muscle, he's got plenty of rib. I think there's a lot to like about that sheep. I just want to change his spine. Congratulations.
Placings on your Texel Market Lamb. Champion, first place, and congratulations to Brock Kessler. Second place and reserve champion to Alexis Cook. In the ring now, we have Class 19, Valet Black Nose Market Lambs. Whiteface Cross Market Lamb exhibitor. There is one Whiteface Cross. Let's be making our way to the makeup ring. Class 20. Class 21, Blackface Cross Market Lambs. This is your first call for Class 21, Blackface Cross Market Lambs. For those of you in the barns that have been asking, after we do our top 5 market lambs, we'll take about 10 minutes to get pictures over here at the backdrop with Emma and our top 5, and then we will go right into our weather dam. So we will take just a short little break between market lambs and weather dams. Also, for when we come in to select our champion market lambs, we will be taking our breed champions and reserve breed champions in for selection, since we are selecting a top 5.
Well, it's fun to study the Valets on the other end of the spectrum when we think about them as Weathers. And if we peel back that fleece and it really start to get in and handle, the one that wins, it just has more to him. I think that one's got more spread and dimension down the top side of his skeleton. But really where I think he separates himself in this class, as we watch this one in motion, and I really like this one from a structural standpoint. Now back in second, I think this one still is still right on it and where he's at this stage in the game. I think we just need a little bit more time to get him there, to get him the same kind of spread and dimension, to give him the same kind of shape. Congratulations.
Placings on that Valet Black Nose class. First place and champion goes to Brexton Devlin. Reserve champion in second place also to Brexlin Devlin. We are ready to go into class 20. Whiteface Cross Market Lambs. There is one exhibitor in this class. Blackface Cross exhibitors, class 21. We need those Blackface Cross Market Lambs ringside and ready.
Here we just got a single entry for our Whiteface Cross. I really like this one. Again, when it comes to his body shape, when it comes to his balance, and for me, I think that tells the story of one that has the right market fundamentals, especially work on back. He's got plenty of shape and expression into that stifle. Really like this one. Let's put our hands together for this exhibitor.
Placings in class 20, Whiteface Cross Market Lamb. First place, champion, exhibited by Levi Bradshaw. Entering the ring now, we have class 21, Blackface Cross Market Lambs. These lambs are from 113 pounds to 136 pounds. Let's be making our way with that class 22, Blackface Cross Market Lamb class. Class 22. Levi Bradshaw. If you will come see me at the announcer stand, please. Levi Bradshaw, please come see me at the announcer stand.
Well, here on the top three, I think it's a really interesting trio to work through, and where I ultimately land is in one that I think is the biggest back, the biggest muscled, and again checks those boxes right on. When you go in to handle him, that one's the freshest, that one's got the most spread and dimension, and I really love where this one's rib and this one's chest floor sits into him. Now maybe we don't always get the best look at this one in motion. He doesn't want to cooperate today. I think at times maybe I get critical on him being just a little bit shorter coupled, but I think ultimately that this is the one that when you get behind him, when you get beside him and study him, I think from all angles he's the one that just hits me the hardest. Now here into two, this is one I really like there from a profile and from a silhouette standpoint. That's the one that is maybe a little bit more ideal in my opinion on where he sits in terms of his length of spine and how long he is there from flank to flank as well. I like his extension, I like how level he is, and especially in motion, that one for me is really correct and really comfortable. Again, I get in on that first view, watch that one from behind, and he just narrows up too much for me. I think it's the same story from the top side of his skeleton all the way down. I want to see that one bigger about his upper hip. I want to see him bigger there at the surface, but I think that one is still a really cool, really attractive sheep. Now, one that I initially want to use, and I think as you step back and study this one from a big ring perspective, this is a one that I certainly gravitate towards initially. That one is so correct in his angles. I love the way his chest floor sits into him. I love how he transitions back into a really big forerib, a really neat where he's really neat into his body shape and correct at the surface as well. Unfortunately, when I do go in to handle this one, I think he's just a little bit too plain to the touch, especially in comparison to those two directly ahead of him. But I think that one, if we sit here from the outside looking in, that one is a really cool sheep that I initially wanted to use to win. Unfortunately, again, we just need to give that one just a little bit more shape and expression there on the top side of his skeleton. Now back on here in four, and this is one who maybe does have just that extra freshness, who is just a little bit leaner there in his condition, but in the same breath as where I'll say he doesn't balance up as well. This is a long spine sheep, a really fresh, really attractive looking one. I just think he's a little bit too racy there in his body shape. Drop that one in his flank line, and he certainly moves up. Here we round out our class with a little ewe lamb that I think all the basics are there. She's really neat in her angles. I think she's built right and certainly has enough to her. I just don't think that in relation she has as much. Want to pull that one apart, give that one a little bit more rib shape and body. Congratulations.
Placings on Class 21 Blackface Cross Market Lamb. First place, and congratulations to Jake Jordan. Second place, Annika Hamilton. Third place, Adeline Ham. Fourth, Nash Arthur. And fifth place to Oakley Barrett. In the ring now, we are ready for Class 22 Blackface Cross Market Lambs. There are 3 entries in this class, weights from 140 to 157. After Class 22, we will be selecting our champion and reserve champion Blackface Cross Market Lamb. After we select our champion and reserve champion Blackface Cross, we will be ready to select our top 5 market lambs. So if you were a breed champion or reserve breed champion with your market lambs, please start making your way to the makeup ring. If you were a breed champion or reserve breed champion, please start making your way to the makeup ring.
Now, here to round out our blackface cross division, I think that this is obviously, as we get into a heavyweight class, one that comes with some challenges, as we've got some sheep that are maybe just a little bit further past 12 o'clock. But the one that does win, I think, is just right on in terms of his cover and condition, and especially for me, in terms of his angles. Watch that one go, and he hits his stride with a lot of comfort and flexibility. Now, back into two, this is one who is certainly bold about his center body. Really like how he opens up into his forerib. I think he does just give up a little bit of muscle in comparison to the one that wins the class, unfortunately. And so that's what puts him there into that second hole. Now back here this is one who's so extended, certainly has the advantage in his extension, and I love the way he brings his neck out of his shoulder. I think as we do work on back, I think he's got enough muscle. I just don't think he has as much as those two ahead of him. I want to see that one come just a little bit wider, come a little bit bolder about his rib.
Placings on Class 22. First place and congratulations to Ella Bulis. Second place to Emmy Dower, and third place to Nathan Holliday. We are ready to select our champion and reserve champion Blackface Cross. First place out of Class 21, Jake Jordan. Second place out of Class 21, Annika Hamilton. First place out of Class first place out of Class 22 is Ella Bulis. Second place out of Class 22 is Emmy Dower. Breed champion market lambs, reserve breed champion market lambs. You need to be ringside and ready. Ringside and ready, breed champion market lambs.
Here's a division I don't need to take a whole lot of time on. I think there was a pair here that just hit me so hard, and I think we bring them back out. And I think they have that same competitive edge in this division, in this drive. For me, those two first and second place out of that first class will be your champion and reserve.
Your champion, Blackface Cross Market Lamb, first place, and congratulations goes to Jake Jordan. And your reserve champion out of the same class to Annika Hamilton. Breed champion market lambs need to be ringside and ready. Reserve breed champion market lambs also need to be ringside and ready. Attention in the barns. Breeding sheep exhibitors, this is your final call for check-in. If you have not checked in, go to the exhibit hall and get yourself checked in with your breeding sheep for tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday shows. All right, I believe we are ready to begin our champion drive for our Market Lamb show. Please meet your champion Border Cheviot exhibitor, Caden Murphy. Your champion Dorper exhibitor, Vivian Stephenson. Your champion Dorset Advantage, Nash Arthur. Your champion Hampshire exhibitor, Adeline Ham. Your champion Katahdin exhibitor, Joel Ripberger. Your champion Lincoln, Adeline Jester. Champion Natural Colored, Colton Smith. Your champion North Country Cheviot, Brock Kessler. Your champion Oxford, Harper Nichols. Your champion Polled Dorset, Harper Nichols. Your champion Shropshire, Eli Wilson. Your champion Southdown, Ellie Tompkins. Your champion Suffolk, Ella Bulis. Your champion Texel, Brock Kessler. Your champion Valet, Braxton Devlin. Your champion Whiteface Cross, Levi Bradshaw. And your champion Blackface Cross, Jake Jordan. Let's meet our reserve champions. Your reserve champion, Dorper, exhibited by Vivian Stephenson. Your reserve champion, Hampshire, Jace Maddox. Your reserve Katahdin, Waylon Jester. Your reserve Lincoln, Waylon Jester. Yes. Your reserve Natural Colored, Reagan Leeper. Your reserve Oxford, Caden Murphy. Your reserve Pold Dorset, Eli Wilson. Your reserve Shropshire, Ryan Liggett. Your reserve Southdown, Emma Myers. Your reserve Texel, Alexis Cook. Your reserve Black Nose, Valet Braxton Devlin. And your reserve Blackface Cross, Annika Hamilton. Let's give all these exhibitors a round of applause as we bring these champion and reserve champion market lambs to the makeup or into the show ring. Our judge here for the market lamb portion of our show, please meet Emma Brockman. Emma owns and operates Locust Lane Livestock alongside her husband and parents in Versailles, Ohio, where they raise Corriedale and South Downs. She's a graduate of Lincoln Land Community College and the University of Illinois, where she was a member of both livestock judging teams. Now, Emma works for the World Initiative for Soy and Human Health, while also studying for a master's degree in international agriculture through Oklahoma State University. She and her husband live in Bloomington, Illinois, and enjoy judging livestock shows across the country in their spare time. Let's give Emma a round of applause as she's going to be with us here all weekend. And her husband, Austin's going to join her here this afternoon for showmanship, and he's going to be judging in Ring 2 the rest of the weekend. Also, and I know some of these kids are out here in the ring, but if a representative of Eli Wilson's, Ella Bulis, Ryan Liggett, and Ellie Tompkins could make their way to the announcer stand, I have something up here for each one of those exhibitors. Eli Wilson, Ella Bulis, Ryan Liggett, and Ellie Tompkins. Also, after the conclusion of the market lamb portion, we will take 5 to 10 minutes, or 10 to 15 minutes, get pictures over here at the backdrop, get reorganized, and then we'll go into our Weather Dam show. And I have been absolutely remiss in introducing Emily Adcock, Adcock Photography and Design. That's your official photographer of the 2026 Youth Sheep Expo. Make sure you visit Emily's website and order the pictures. Don't just use the ones with the watermarks on them. Order the photos.
Well, let's put our hands together for these market lamb exhibitors. I was really excited when I got the call, when both Austin and I got the call to come out here and judge the Youth Sheep Expo this year. And I think whenever we come out and start out with a really competitive set of market lambs, I just know the kind of quality that we're going to see throughout the weekend. It's going to make our job difficult, but it's also going to be really, really fun. And so to get to do that with my husband, I'm really excited for. But here to work through these market lambs, it certainly had its challenges. I think when we've got some smaller class sizes or when we've got a lot of those differences in weights and where we're at, whether we're on the back end of feeding these lambs for the summer or we're just kind of getting started. And I think that can become evident, and I think certainly we see those differences here in this champion lineup. I think ultimately when it comes down to picking that top five, I think there's a few here that really just jump out and kind of hit me with a quality that I want. You heard me talk about the kind of sheep that I like, the kind of market lamb that really gets me going. And for me, I found a few that do just that for me. Excuse me. And so when we bring them back and when we study them piece by piece and when we get to compare them breed by breed, it's certainly a lot of fun. But ultimately, I do think that there is one here that I'm going to use for your champion that just hit me so hard. It's a man out here and one that just has so much quality in its pieces and its stoutness. And we can go on and on about a lot of the things that it does right. And I think from there on all the way through our top five, we've got some different pieces. We've got them at different stages in the game and where we're feeding them. But again, ultimately that one that wins really just hit me so hard. I'm going to put the mic down. I'll show you a top five. Let's put our hands together again. Congratulations.
And your champion market lamb exhibited by Jake Jordan out of the Blackface Cross Division. Your reserve champion out of the natural colored, Colton Smith. Out of your Hampshire division, Adeline Ham. Out of the Blackface Cross, your reserve, fourth overall, Annika Hamilton. And your 5th overall out of the Hampshire division, Jace Maddox. That will conclude the Market Lamb show. Let's go get pictures with the top 5 over at the backdrop. As the Market Lamb exhibitors are leaving the ring, please give them a round of applause. It is 12:25. We're going to give Emily about 10 minutes to take pictures, so at about 12:35, we will be ready to start the Weather Dam portion of our show. Ellie Tompkins and Ryan Liggett, if you will come see me here at the announcer stand after you get your sheet put away, I would appreciate it. Thanks. Levi Bradshaw. Levi Bradshaw, will you come to the announcer stand for me for a minute, please? Thank you. Obviously, attention in the barn exhibitors. It is 12:30. We're going to start here in about 4 minutes on that weather dam division. Showmanship by the schedule is 1 o'clock. Obviously, we are not going to start showmanship until the weather dams are completed. So we'll kind of keep you informed as far as when we get ready to do showmanship, but that will be after we complete the weather dams. So let's go ahead and make that first call for those first two classes of Whiteface Cross weather dams, Class 1 and Class 2. Whiteface Cross weather dams to the makeup ring. All right, weather dam exhibitors. Let's make sure we've got those first two classes of Whiteface Cross weather dams ringside and ready. Class 1, we need Kenley Wilson to the makeup ring. Kenley Wilson, Class 1 Whiteface Cross weather dams. All right, we are ready to continue the Weather Dam show. We are ready for Class 1, Whiteface Cross Weather Dams. These weather dams weigh from 75 to 108 pounds. Let's be making sure we've got that Class 2 Whiteface Cross Weather Dam class ringside and ready.
As we move into our weather dam side of things, I think this is a nice pair here to lead us off. And a Southdown Influence you that I think really has a lot of quality about her, especially as we set her into motion. She's so comfortable about that spine and skeleton. Really like the way that she's put together here from this side. Now, excuse me, back in a second. This is one who I think obviously maturity is just not on her side today. I just want to see her just a little bit further ahead in that growth curve to see where she stands up against that you that leads us off. But I think still the basics are there. That one's still really attractive. I just want to lengthen out her stride ever so slightly.
Placings on Class 1, first place, and congratulations to Kinley Wilson. Second place to Emma Chandler. In the ring now, we have Class 2 Whiteface Cross Weather Dams. These are from 117 to 127. So, Weather Dam exhibitors, what we will do is we will go through all of the Weather Dam classes, and the way I understand it is after Class 7, we will pick our top 5 Weather Dams. So we've got them divvied up between whiteface and blackface in classes, and then we will select from all 9 classes, or all 7 classes, your top 5. So we'll need first and second places from each class back after Class 7 on the Weather Dam side. This will be that first call for Class 3, Whiteface Cross Weather Dams. First call, Class 3. This will be that third call for Class 3 Whiteface Cross Weather Dams. Second call, Class 3.
I think this is a really competitive class in our whiteface division, and the young man brings us one and does an incredible job getting this one stuck. But a really fancy ewe lamb that's so up-headed. She's so correct in her angles. But I think what especially sets this one apart is just the way that she wedges back, where she's still wide when she comes at you, but she leaves you even wider and even bigger about her hip and pin set. I think that's a pretty cool sheep to lead us off. Now back in a second, I think this is one who still in some ways can give that ewe lamb in first to run for her money. I love the length of her neck. I love the length of her spine and just how extended she is throughout. I think she especially takes a really long, really correct stride. I just don't think that she maybe has the same kind of outward shape or outward expression as the one that does win the class. She's certainly wide enough. She's certainly square enough. Just doesn't maybe have that extra groove down her spine as the one that wins the class. But I still think that's another nice sheep here in second. A really intriguing one is the one in third. I think still from a basic build standpoint, she's correct. She's really comfortable. And again, I love her extension. For me, I love the way that the sheep like this puts her front end together, and then from there on back, and how she ties it together. Especially for me, I think where I like this sheep quite a bit is just in her shape and expression. But unfortunately, I think as we step back and analyze her from the side, and then in comparison to those two ahead of her, she doesn't have the same kind of power. She doesn't have the same boldness and spring of rib as those two ahead of her. But I think as we continue to feed on that one, I think she's going to continue to get better and better. Now, back on the other end of the spectrum, we've got a stout, really, really powerful female here in 4. That one is so bold and so opened up, and boy, she leaves you with a lot of muscularity and power. I think, unfortunately, that's just working to her disadvantage. She's just a little bit plainer in her look from the side. She's certainly square, but I just don't think she has the same kind of wow factor as those ahead of her do. And here, as we round out the class, I think we've got some really functional females, ones who have plenty of muscle on them. I think from a basic build standpoint, they're right on, and I think they hit their stride with enough flexibility. Again, maybe just don't have that same kind of wow factor, don't have the same touch or expression as those ahead of them. Let's put our hands together. Congratulations.
Placings on Class 2 Whiteface Cross Weather Dam. First place, and congratulations to Baylor Mills. Second place, Harper Nichols. Third to Gensley Ball. Fourth to Nash Arthur. Fifth to Peyton DeWeese. And sixth to Liam Wilson. In the ring now, we have Class 3 Whiteface Cross Weather Dams. These weigh from 187 to 203. Blackface Cross Weather Dams, Class 4. Be making your way to the makeup ring. Class 4 to the makeup ring, please. Class 4, Blackface Cross Weather Dams. We need to be men the makeup ring, ringside and ready. Class 4, Blackface Cross Weather Dams.
Here in our heavyweight class with some yearling ewes, I think that both just have so much quality about them. The young lady starts off with one that I think is really just that much further ahead in this particular drive. Again, her angles and the way that she gets out and goes, that one takes a longer, freer stride, while also still being a really broody, really, really powerful female that has enough shape to make that next generation better and better. Now back again on a moderate, really stout featured, really a really bold made, bold constructed female in second. And I really like a lot about this female. Again, I think she can inject a lot of muscle in that next generation. But watch this one get out and go, and she gets a little bit too short and choppy off those back wheels for me. Just want to see her with a little bit more comfort and flexibility there. Let's put our hands together again. Congratulations.
Placings on Class 3, Whiteface Cross Showmanship. First place, and congratulations, Eleanor Carson. And second place to Nash Arthur. In the ring now, we are ready for Class 4, Blackface Cross Weather Dams. These weigh in a range of 103 to 119. Blackface Cross Weather Dams, Class 5, ringside and ready. Class 5, need to be making your way to the makeup ring, please.
Well, I think these ULANs are just coming together a little bit easier in my mind today. And here we start off with a pair I think that are just so elite, so next level for me, and those pieces that they offer. But here where we start off, the young man brings one that I think is really, really neat in the way it comes at you with so much width of chest, but still maintains it all in a really attractive package where she's up-headed, she's correct, and she's level. Set that one in motion, and she takes a really comfortable stride. And I think that's what really sets her apart in this class. Now, Now here in second, this is another one who I think has that same kind of silhouette, has the same kind of look from the side, and I certainly appreciate that about her. Maybe she just doesn't have the same kind of power and presence as the one that falls directly ahead of her, but I still think she has just as much. She has enough to her. She has enough muscularity. She has enough shape. But watch that one go, and I just want to see her with a little bit softer flex to her hock, and one gets just a little bit too sharp there for me when in motion. I think come back again and watch him on the go. And the 1 and 3 is another one that I need to change. We just get a little bit too vertical off of either end. If we can stretch that one out, let her take a little bit longer, freer stride, then I think that one's a really, really neat sheep as well. That one stopped and collected. She's up headed and she's level down that spine. She's comfortable and she's easy there. In terms of her spine, again, just watch her down low. And I think we just need to fix her there. Give her a little bit more spring of rib when we talk about how she transitions into her forerib, but from there on back, she certainly does open up with enough. Here in 4, this is one for me I think we need to change again in the way she's built, just especially in the way she brings her neck out of her shoulder. I just want to pick that one up, but from there on back, she's long about her spine. I really like how square and level she is out of that hip, and when she's in motion, she hits her stride and she's correct as well. I just want to see that one with a little bit more softness of her flank line, a little bit more spring of rib as well. Then here, I think it's a similar story as we round out our class. This is one who just comes up just a little bit too much in terms of her flank line, and another one I want to see more muscle on to get her up any higher.
Placings on Class 4, Blackface Cross Weather Dams, first place. And congratulations. First place and congratulations to Baylor Mills. Second place, Eleanor Carson. Third, Madeline Crouch. Fourth, Aiden Reinhart. And fifth to Adeline Jester. In the ring now, we have Class 5 Blackface Cross Weather Dams. These weigh in range from 126 to 134. Class 6 Blackface Cross Weather Dams. Please be making your way to the makeup ring. Class 6. It appears that the snow cone trailer is here. Reminder, those are free snow cones. Make sure you thank Brett and Heather Kessler and the boys. Clay Hill Ranch is your sponsor for the snow cones. They will be here, I believe, from like 1 o'clock until about 3 o'clock.
Well, certainly a lot of variation in this next class, and the one that wins certainly is a little bit more my speed, and just how bold she is, and how stout and powerful as a really broody female for me, all while having those pieces that go a little bit further. Watch that one in motion, and she's comfortable and she's correct. But especially, again, what sets her apart is as we get on top of them, find the spread and dimension that she's got, find how round she is about her rib, and really fits that first hole really nicely for me. Now, maybe where I do like this little blue ewe lamb that comes in second, just a notch better, maybe is in the way she brings her neck out of her shoulder. I think she's just a little bit longer neck. She's just a little bit neater in that front 1/3 than our class winner is. But from there on back, I don't think that she has the same kind of power and presence as the one that wins. I just want to see that one just a little bit bolder, just a little bit deeper in that flank line to add to that balance. But I still think that's a really competitive kind of sheep, another one that's still built really good there to fit that second hole. Now another really soft-bodied, really one that's opened up, and is the one that comes in 3. I do probably prefer the way that this one comes just a notch bolder into her forerib than the one that does win the class. But again, I watch them in motion. That one is just a notch too vertical off those hind wheels for me. When she's in motion, she does drop that head. She does start to run downhill ever so slightly. Get behind her. Maybe she doesn't have the same kind of muscle as those two ahead of her do. But again, I think from a body shape standpoint, I think she certainly has an advantage there over that second place ewe. And then here, as we round out our class, this is one from her shoulders back. I like this sheep quite a bit. That is one that's soft enough, that's bold enough, and certainly has plenty of muscle when you get in behind her. But this one for me is far too vertical off that front end, and the way she's constructed up front. I need to pick that one up about her chest floor, need to lengthen that one up about her neck as well. Let's again put our hands together for these exhibitors.
Placings on Class 5 Blackface Cross Weather Dam, first place. And congratulations to Jude Parker. Second place to Cruz Coyle. Third, Harper Nichols. And fourth to Reagan Leeper. In the ring now, we have Class 6 Blackface Cross Weather Dams, weights ranging from 140 to 151. Class 7 Blackface Cross Weather Dams, let's be making your way to the makeup ring. Class 7 Blackface Cross Weather Dams to the makeup ring, please. Class 7 Blackface Cross Weather Dams need to be ringside and ready. Class 7. After Class 7, we will be selecting our champion, our top 5 weather dams. Need to make sure that we have all first and second place weather dams ringside and ready after Class 7.
Well, here to start off this next class, really excited about the one that wins. We saw this one earlier in the Market Lamb show, and I think I was maybe a little bit more hopeful for this one on the female side of things. This one really fits the bill for me in a lot of the things that she does right. Man, when that one's set up and propped up here on the side, I think she paints a really, really cool picture and just how square she is in her build, how powerful she is when you get behind her. But I still think that one is soft enough in her body shape to be a really feminine kind of sheep as well. And now back in a second, this is another one who's ultra square in her build. I love the length of this one there from flank to flank, and especially her extension up front. Maybe what she does just a notch better than the class winner is in the way she brings her neck out of her shoulder as well. But I just wish she matched the same kind of stoutness and power with more feature there at the surface. Just to have a little bit more foot and bone, to have a little bit of the extra bells and whistles to go along with it. But I still think that's a really cool sheep in her own right. Back here in a 3, this is one who I certainly love in how boxy and how square she is. I think for me, she's just a little bit too far past 12 o'clock. I just want to peel back that extra layer of condition that she's got, where she starts to get a little bit plainer there up about her chest, and as we work on back, get into handle, and that one just has a little bit too much bark on her for me to get her up any higher. And then here, as we round out our class, this is one that I really want to like. I really like the way that the sheep wedges. I like her progression of depth and just how soft, broody, and deep she is. But as we set this one into motion, I think that's where I get too critical on her. She's just a little bit too vertical off of either end. I want to give that one a little bit more length of hip. I want to give that one a little bit more flexibility at the surface. Again, let's put our hands together for these exhibitors.
Placings in Class 6 Blackface Cross Weather Dams. First place, and congratulations to Sarah Munsterman. Second place to Ellie Carson. Third, Adeline Ham. And fourth, Oakley Barrett. In the ring now, we are on Class 7 Blackface Cross Weather Dams. These are from 163 to 214. Let's be getting all of those first and second place weather dams to the makeup ring, please. First and second place weather dams need to be ringside and ready. After we select our top 5 weather dams, we will give those exhibitors a chance to go get their pictures taken at the backdrop with Emma. Emily will get those all taken, and then we will be ready to start with showmanship. Showmanship is youngest to oldest. We will start with novice first. Then after we do all the novice classes, we will select a champion novice showman and a reserve champion novice showman. So we will start youngest to oldest with showmanship.
Now back again with these yearling ewes in our Weather Dam division. I think there's a top pair that I think we do have some differences and we can go back and forth on just a little bit. But to start off, there's one that I think is really unmatched in her stoutness and power, and especially from a muscularity standpoint. That one is really big-footed. She's massive up top. She's massive about her center body, and then I think is still one who's really just ultra attractive. Still to have that kind of power, to have that kind of muscularity, all while still having a really feminine look. That's the kind that wins for me today. And now another really attractive, really feminine kind of sheep is here in second. I think that one has an advantage in her length of neck and the way that she puts it together there from a look standpoint. But I think for me is where I get too critical on this one is just as we take that step in behind her. I just want to see her with just a little bit more muscularity, just a little bit more power in relation to the one that wins, especially, and then as we set her into motion, I just want to relax that spine ever so slightly. She starts to work up just a notch. If we can just give that one just a little bit more comfort and motion, then I think she wins pretty easily then. And then back here into three with a big bodied, really kind of broody female. This one is big muscled. She's big backed and certainly has plenty of frame size to go the distance. Unfortunately, I think we get too much condition on this one, and she gets a little bit too piecey in her spine. Maybe it's because she just drives a little bit too hard, but I just want to see her a little bit smoother in that transition about her hip-loin junction. Excuse me. And then again, as we continue to work through this class, we've got another big outlined, really broody kind of female, one who's soft enough about her body, and I love the way that she opens up in that center rib. Another one from behind that she just lacks too much power. She lacks too much muscularity for me. I want to clean that one up about her chest. And then here, as we round out our class, this is the one who just is out horsed today. She doesn't have the same kind of forerib. She doesn't have the same kind of muscularity, unfortunately, but still a really practical feeding sheep. Congratulations.
Placings on Class 7 Blackface Cross Weather Dams. First place, and congratulations to Jude Parker. Second place to Emma Chandler. Third, Levi Willman. Fourth, Brock Kessler. And fifth, Nathan Holliday. We need all those first and second place weather dams ringside and ready. We will be selecting our top 5 weather dams here momentarily. Make sure you are checking in with Cassidy over there at ringside to make sure we've got everybody. Class 1, first place, Kinley Wilson. Class 2, first place was Baylor Mills. Class 3, first place is Eleanor Carson. Class 4, first place was also Baylor Mills. Class 5, first place is Jude Parker. Class 6, first place was Sarah Munsterman. And Class 7, first place was Jude Parker. Class 1, second place was Emma Chandler. Class 2, second place was Harper Nichols. Class 3, second place is Nash Arthur. Class 4, second place, Eleanor Carson. Class 5, second place, Cruz Coyle. Class 6, second place is Eleanor Carson. And Class 7, second place was Emma Chandler. These are all of your first and second place weather dams. Let's give these kids a round of applause as we select our top 5 weather dam here at Youth Sheep Expo 2026. After we select our top 5 weather dams, we will take a 10-15-minute break, get photos and all of that, and then we will start with showmanship. Novice showmanship first. There are 3 classes of novice showmanship, so we will do those first.
Well, this has been a really nice U show to work through. One, I think that where we don't necessarily have as many on the numbers, we bring them back, and with both our first and second place, and there's so much quality here in these females. Here to work through a top 5. For me, again, it always goes back to the basics. I gotta watch them move, gotta see how they're built, and then put it all together, and especially find one that has a little bit further reaching pieces. Which one out here looks like a lady and just goes a little bit further there with the extra pieces of muscularity, with power, with shape, and I think that there's one who does that in a really nice way. Whether they're on the lightweight side of things or back on the heavyweight with some really nice yearlings too. There's a sheep here that I think is just really cool. And then from there all the way down through our top 5, there's just so many here that we can work through. There's so many different ways that we can go. I think from top to bottom, sit back and pick them the way you like them. Here for me, again, I go back to the basics, find the ones that are going to be good females in the jug, and then go on and hopefully make some weathers, make some that'll hang some banners. Let's put our hands together as I go show you a top 5.
Your champion, Weather Dam from Class 2, Baylor Mills. That one will also be your champion, Whiteface Cross Weather Dam. Your reserve, Weather Dam from Class 3, Eleanor Carson. Third overall, Class 7, Jude Parker. That will also be your champion, Blackface Cross Weather Dam. Fourth overall, Class 2, Harper Nichols. And 5th overall out of Class 4, Baylor Mills. Let's give our weather dam exhibitors a round of applause, please. If you were in the top 5, please make your way to the other part of the building where the backdrop's set up so we can get pictures over there. Thank you.